Yeah, it goes everybody, because we'll continue on with a game called The Devil's Whisper. I think somebody died. I think it was Conrad. I think I did oopsie. Anyway, from the hallway I hear a piano being played with warmth and gentleness. It's easy to tell that a new day has arrived, seeing how everyone in the house begins to mobilize, preparing for whatever awaits. Between some employees, including butlers, cleaning people, and so on, everyone is impatiently waiting for a member of the family to give orders to carry them out immediately and to the letter. I said good morning to each of them, always showing them the biggest smile and trying to show charisma. Wonder who this is. Probably not the best person to say it, but I don't like that some of them feel they should treat me as if I were a princess or something similar. Is this Claire's life? But their excessive kindness is more than understandable, considering the severity with which my parents could punish them if they found out that they didn't treat me with the utmost respect. Yeah, boy, did I know about how stern my parents could be, me being the first person they order around from sunrise to the last minute of the day. I could lose myself here forever. I love listening to my mom play the piano. It's one of my favorite activities. Although she doesn't like me listening to her, it brings back many memories of my childhood. Sadly, not because it was better, but because it was a different and very distant time for me. After many minutes of self-convincing myself at the door of the music room, I finally took courage. I knocked at the door subtly, trying to get Mom's attention without causing too much noise. An unpleasant sound was heard from the music room, caused by Mom hitting the piano keys. Immediately after this, I heard from the other side as Mom got up from the chair, walking towards the room door.
For God's sake, Claire. Ugh, what an inopportune way to knock on the door.
I knew it is about Claire's perspective now, Claire's POV. Mom was wearing a beautiful light pink dress from the full length of her arms to her heels.
Sorry, Mommy. I just wanted to know if you were ready.
Claire, I've said 1,000 times that I hate it when you refer to me that way.
What, Mommy?
Yes, you're right. Mother, I just wanted to know if you were ready. Is that better?
Oh, yes, better. Much better. But it's still very inopportune to have interrupted me at a music session, honey. Good children never do that.
I think normal, average children do that. Distract their parents with everything. Every time a parent does something like their hobbies, they always get distracted by their children. So I think that's a normal thing to do.
Besides, please, Claire, I'm your mother. You don't have any kind of authority to rush me.
Unless it was beforehand you ordered me to remind you of the thing that we're about to get ready for. So, take that.
I'm sorry.
Stop apologizing and pay more attention to your clumsy acts. Please. Anyway, I'm not going to waste my time with any more childishness.
And this is mature. With a cold expression and stiffness in her movements, Mom came up to me and gave me a tiny kiss on my cheek. Couldn't help but smile. At least I had to have done something at least minimally well enough for Mother to reward me with a kiss. It had been so long since she did that.
But what an inhuman hour not to have the chore ready.
What chore? Dad came out of the master bedroom, catching everyone's attention with a flattering tuxedo he was wearing.
Oh, dear God. Another day they don't have the house clean by this time, and I'll change all these useless employees.
Dad had walked past me, not even noticing my presence. I approached him slowly, feet together, hands stuck behind my back.
Dad, good morning. I wanted to ask if you...
What do you need now, Claire?
Money.
Huh?
Go on with what you were going to say, and make it fast.
Give me money. I naively believed that Dad had a real interest in whatever it was I was going to ask him. By far be it from him to pay me the slightest bit of attention.
Could you ask Johan if he can take me to a candy store before school?
Johan? Is it pronounced Johan? I don't know.
You know, they say there are some new candies they brought from Asia.
Oh, rich people problems.
I've been dying to try one of them for days. Even
Even months.
Oh dear, what's this? You couldn't have picked a worse time to talk about something so irrelevant. Your mother and I are about to start another campaign, and we can't be distracted by this.
So they're a politician?
I thought you understood long ago how important our jobs and our commitment to the party are, Claire.
Oh. Yeah, well...
I thought it was important too.
But I am your daughter. I mean, I thought that warranted you giving me some importance, don't you think?
I am standing up for myself. Okay, I'm gonna go sit down now. Dad looked at me quizzically as if what I had just said was something otherworldly or completely incomprehensible to him. But quickly his expression changed back to the common indifference that had been perpetrated on his face for years.
It's your life, Claire. If you want to skip school and be a hopeless failure, of course you can go to that candy store. It's your choice.
I mean, I don't want to go to the candy store now. I was gonna go to the candy store when I had the free time.
And please, don't bother your mother and me again. Talk to your nanny if anything is offered, and tell Johan to take you to that candy store since you are so irritating about it.
Okay, you're an asshole, but I commend you for pronouncing Johan correctly. So yeah.
Thank you, Father.
I tried to get a little closer to Dad, either to give him a hug or at least wish him a good day. However, I knew well what was going to happen, and I was not wrong in believing it. Dad simply hurried his pace, pretended not to notice me. He avoided me. My own father avoided me. He's avoiding the cooties. My eyes became watery. I was about to burst into tears if no one stopped me. But I controlled myself, bringing my index finger to my eyes and wiping away the tears that were about to fall. I knew that if I didn't stop myself, once the tears started falling, there would be no human power that could stop my crying. And given the situation with my parents and how tense they were because of their political campaign, I wasn't going to cause them any more trouble. I had to fend for myself. I kept repeating the same phrase in my head, trying to cheer myself up. Johan, one of my dad's chauffeurs, and the one who took care of me when I wasn't at home, approached me when he saw me, with my legs shaking and my face down.
Oh, miss. Don't worry.
Johan was a very nice guy, not much older than 30. He had been working for my family for a couple of years, which was really surprising given how quickly we changed personnel. I could consider him as a member of the family, always supporting me when I was not strong enough on my own.
Come on. There's still a lot of the day to go. It's too early to give up, don't you think?
I wasn't able to make eye contact with him, so I waited a few seconds for the tears in my eyes to finish drying. When I felt ready, I turned my gaze to him and faked a smile.
Of course! It's a wonderful day.
I had learned to fake emotions from a very young age to the point where I could change my mood in a matter of seconds if I put my mind to it. Hey, so we did have something... we learned something from this traumatizing event. Well, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade or something like that. Yeah. I wasn't sure if everyone believed me, but at least I was good at faking it when the situation called for it. Fake it till you make it.
Give me a second, okay?
Seconds up, let's go now.
I'm just going to my room to get my books and my cell phone.
5 seconds have passed.
Of course. At your service, miss.
10 seconds. I smiled again, although this time with a much more subdued face, and squinting my eyes a bit, I turned Japanese for a minute there. I nimbly climbed the stairs, reaching my room and opening the door with a single movement. Oops.
Why does this always happen to me?
I was having trouble breathing properly, noticeable by my lungs inflating, deflating rapidly and irregularly. Maybe we should go to the doctors for that. What, no voice? Not again, Claire. You've cried enough today, crybaby. Don't do it again. Don't be a goofball. My inner thoughts made me control the feeling of grief a little. I frowned and tried to turn this emotion to anger. It worked temporarily, but it was only a matter of minutes before I was overcome by sadness again. Realizing I was about to cry, I clenched my fist tightly and stood in front of the mirror.
No, Claire, you're not going to cry again.
I am not a crybaby. I heard my parents' car being started and driving away. Vroom. Now I was really alone, away from my parents, I mean. 'Cause alone I have never been, always surrounded by people worrying about what I do or don't do, and what might happen to me. Wouldn't be so surprised if, when I left my room, there was an army of people asking if everything was okay because of the screams I made. However, at the end of the day, I was sure that they did have a genuine concern for what happened to me, even though they were just workers and got paid for it. Gotta suck up to the boss's daughter. I stared at my reflection, trying to find some serenity in it. Mom and Dad have already left for work. You have nothing else to worry about. Nothing at all. This time I smiled. And I smiled with peace of mind. I finally felt liberated for today. I opened the door to my room to confirm that Johan was outside it.
Is it time to go to school already?
Yep, now it's time to go.
Time to go. Johan and I left the house through the front door. They greeted us with a beautiful clear sky and the sun that lifted my spirits just looking at it.
Don't you feel like the sun is smiling today?
Because one of your friends is dead? Your ex?
Of course, miss. This day is exceptionally special.
I am the number one at sucking up.
Any particular reason?
Because I was hired to suck up.
Not really. But don't you find the birds singing and the sound of the wind hitting the leaves of the trees enough to make you smile today?
I am only hired to say this.
You may be right.
How much do you want? My parents have always put so much pressure on me, and on more than one occasion I felt I can't cope with my own life anymore. But Johan has been there whenever I have needed him. He has changed his position on more than one occasion. He's worked as a cleaner's boy, a butler, and for a few months now he had become my personal chauffeur. I didn't like to feel that I had someone obeying my orders, but surely he was much better off working with me than if he was still strictly under my parents' orders.
So, we're going to that store with Asian candy?
Hell yeah, Asian candy. My face lit up. I didn't know Johan had overheard a conversation I had with my parents, but just saying that had already made my day a little better.
Thank you.
I said with as much affection as I could put into an expression. After that, Johan opened the car door, helping me into the back seat. Then Johan climbed into the driver's seat to start our journey. Okay. Nights into journey. The school was unusually active even though there's no one there. The Reisterfield Academy isn't exactly known for having a small student body or a quiet atmosphere, but you could say that unusual events were pretty rare here. I entered the classroom seeing several groups of students at various points in the room. Nearly everyone glanced my way as soon as I walked in, but none of them held their gaze for more than a couple of seconds. Among all the groups of students, there was only one that I was interested in approaching. And that was the group of Amelia, Andrew, Madison, and Conrad. Of course, Conrad being originally the reason I liked hanging out with all of them. However, to be honest, over time I had grown accustomed to hanging out with Andrew and Amelia as well. I couldn't say we were the closest friends yet, but there weren't any issues among us. That didn't happen with Madison, unfortunately. Well, yeah. But besides that, little by little, I felt like we were forming a kind of bond within the group, which had grown over the past few days. I actually enjoy being with them. But as soon as I got into the classroom, I could notice something. Oh, there you go. You're missing the word something. I could notice something seemed off. I was so confused. Like, wait, am I half asleep here or what? Notably, I could notice Madison was in no mood to argue today. Quite strange that was. In fact, she seemed quite the opposite, that her face had an expression of dismay. I approached them and tried to greet them as naturally as possible.
Good morning.
Madison fixed her gaze on me, which didn't last many seconds as tears falling from her eyes made her look away. What's going on? I wondered with a gesture of genuine concern. Maybe Madison and I aren't the best of friends, but I wasn't happy to see her like this either.
Huh?
Is everything okay?
Claire?
That is her name.
I'm not really sure.
Why the long faces? Did something happen, or is it just the race of the person. That's why we have long faces. We are part horses. What am I saying?
Claire,
Yeah? No, I can't. Can't what? An unbearable urge to cry for Madison caught everyone's attention, including me. Her crying was very natural, similar to that of a child when something has happened and doesn't know how to handle it. It couldn't be something minimal or banal. Madison is a very reserved girl when it comes to showing emotions that indicate sensitivity. So whatever it was something more than just having a bad day or an unusual little event happening to her. Madison sat down in the first chair she found and laid her head on the table. Oh, come on, Madison, that's my seat. Covering her face with both hands as she sobbed. I looked around me, fearing what it might be about. I confirmed a person very dear to her was not present. But Conrad is always late, isn't he? I tried to convince myself that this was not possible, pushing the thought away immediately. What? No voice? Alright. It's a very unfortunate thing for everyone. What are you talking about? Oh no. No.
you see, this morning, Madison got a call from Conrad's parents.
Oh fuck. They found a body? Please don't let it be what I'm thinking. Oh, it's gonna be the thing that I'm thinking. God, please don't let it be that. It'd be funny if Conrad showed up, but it was actually the devil in disguise. He's no longer whispering to each and every one of us. He's now hanging out with us. The devil's hangout or something.
And it turns out, I don't know how to say this.
Say it with words.
Conrad's not.
Conrad's now what?
Conrad's not going back to school.
Did he change schools? Did he move away? Be clear. That phrase made no sense. It didn't make sense to me at all, and yet I could feel my eyes quickly filling with tears without even understanding why.
Conrad's parents told Madison that he passed away last night.
And how did he pass away? I mean, how did Conrad's parents even know? I thought Conrad moved away from his parents or something. No. What do you mean no? That can't be true, and yet it is. I felt an emptiness in my stomach when I heard these words. What?
Conrad is dead, Claire.
May I ask how? Was there a stab wound? Bleeding to death? Come on. Don't let me fill in the blanks myself. Another horrible feeling came over me all of a sudden.
No! That's not! It's not!
And yet it is.
But why? How did it happen?
It's your fault, Claire. You told him to research the grimoire and shit.
They're not sure. It looks like it was an animal. Or something.
Yeah, that stab wound that is similar to an animal elongated nail. Yeah, definitely an animal.
Oh, what?
An animal.
Where was he?
To the place where he was investigating the grimoire.
We don't know. But it looks like he got pretty far out of town. The body was unrecognizable. They were barely able to rescue his car.
Oh man, at least the car is okay. With these words, Andrew didn't know the deep hurt he was causing me. Just yesterday, I had told Connor to go investigate the damn book. He went to that place because of me. There you go. She's fitting the pieces together. I sent him to his death. Hell, Conrad is dead because of me.
I'm sorry.
Come on, admit it. Admit that you sent him to his death. I burst into tears as I realized the stark truth I was facing. Ran out of the classroom, bumping into a couple of students standing in the doorway. Dude, what the fuck? I just got here, man. I headed for the school bathroom. I didn't want anyone to see me with my face wrinkled, full of tears, and barely strong enough to stand up. We were able to run, though. Inside the bathroom, I locked myself behind the bathroom stall and stayed there. I cried, moaned, screamed. The feeling poured out of me straight into my throat. Oh, this is gonna choke. My breathing had become labored, barely able to hold my breath whole long enough to keep from falling unconscious. Although maybe being unconscious would have been enough to not have to suffer this damned reality. Conrad couldn't be dead, and yet he was. After everything we've been through, after all those memories, I didn't want to believe it. There had to be an alternative to it. I think so, if we choose other routes. My heart was shattering just thinking about not being able to see him again. What made me deny reality the most was the thought that he was dead because of me. I sent him straight to his death. Yeah. Damn it, all because of researching that fucking book. If only we hadn't found the book. If only we hadn't gone out that night. If only Mr. Harrison hadn't put his team together, none of this would be happening. It was all his fault before it was mine. Yeah, it had to be. Besides, how could they be so sure it was him? I think the car is a dead giveaway. So his identification, so his ID, the wallet, the clothes, the blonde hair. Dead giveaway, the DNA, the blood that identifies it says, yeah, this is Conrad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him. If an animal mangled a person's body, surely he was far more than unrecognizable. They probably mistook him for someone who had similar characteristics to him. But Andrew said they found his car. They found his car. The car of a poor boy who is now dead. There was still so much of Conrad in me. Okay, that sounded wrong. So many reasons why he was still driving my force in life. Conrad may have made many mistakes, but he didn't deserve that. I knew him so perfectly, much more than Madison or anyone else did. That poor human being. He had his luck backwards. It wasn't his fault he was like that. Life had made him make mistakes. Oh, you're throwing away accountability now? He didn't deserve that. I think he did. He didn't deserve it, damn it. Okay, sorry, Jesus. He was too young, so full of life. Connie, you can't be dead. Not yet, not without taking me with you first. Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of where this is going. I don't like the sound of that. I was silent for several minutes, lost in myself. I remembered all the memories we spent together, from the day I met him, every single one of our trips. And I also remembered when we ended our relationship. It was a magical moment for both of us. We knew we still loved each other, but we decided to go our separate ways so we wouldn't hurt each other anymore. A true sacrifice of love. After releasing the labyrinth of emotions I had inside, I made a heavy sigh, still shaking from the amount of energy I lost. I got up from the toilet and saw myself in the bathroom mirrors. My face was a mess, with my eyes full of eye gunk, and my face bathed in tears. Not to mention the makeup running down my cheeks. I washed my face with water to disguise it a bit. I felt exhausted, easily noticeable by the heaviness in my legs and the latent headache since I received the unfortunate news. I emerged from the bathroom and somehow ended up here. Once again drawing everyone's attention, though this time it was clearly because of my awkward gait and haggard appearance. I walked as best as I could towards one of the school hallways, where the group used to meet daily, hoping they were there. Looking slightly lost, I managed to make out the faces of Andrew and Madison. Only ourselves were left after the terrible events that were befalling us. I didn't greet them when I approached them. The silence said enough. But I was dying slow, with every second that passed like this, with this feeling of not knowing what was happening or a path to follow. Andrew was the first to break the barrier of silence that prevented us from expressing ourselves.
It could be.
We can't keep denying that there's something going on, right? Not after a death. Wait, what? Even Amelia? There's confirmation that Amelia's body has been found dead? It's bad enough we've lost Amelia, too. Wait, what? At least Amelia isn't dead? It really? I mean, they haven't confirmed.
Amelia,
Amelia was right after all.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but we've been very stubborn in not listening to what Amelia was warning us about.
It's unbelievable.
Having a confirmed death is significant enough that we can't just sit back and do nothing.
Not happening.
Whatever, I'm not going to pretend that what happened that night was just a fluke.
Why would you do that?
Conrad died because we didn't give this matter the importance it deserved.
But I'm not giving up, Andrew.
Conrad's death is not going to make me feel more vulnerable.
On it.
We have to do something.
I'm not gonna rest until I find a solution.
We can investigate, ask someone for help. I don't know, we have to come up with something.
Amelia.
I was already looking into this.
No.
Please, Andrew, Amelia is not here anymore.
Damn it!
And I think it's disrespectful for us to talk about her out of guilt, knowing she probably disappeared because of us.
Damn it!
Andrew, Amelia was my friend too. Do you think it doesn't hurt me to think Amelia might be dead because of us? 3 of us were silent when we heard this. It sounded too heavy to be real. Amelia was always the girl who made everyone happy just by looking at her, because she's the one who's freaking out. She's doing the freaking out that now that the one who freaks out is gone, everyone's freaking out now. She would reach out to others when they were sad and played the role of go-between when there were arguments. It was hard just to imagine that it was quite possible that we would never see her again. And as if the emotional charge of the conversation wasn't enough, the looks from the students only got more intense. 2 days, Madison. It's only been 2 days. Amelia could have gotten lost somewhere. Maybe she's even doing research for us right now. Maybe. Open your eyes, Andrew. Please. We need to investigate on our own. I don't want to say anything to happen to us. I don't want to disappear too. I don't want to see ghosts. I don't want to go through everything Amelia went through after disappearing. I just can't deal with this. I can't believe this is real. It's already taken 2 of us. What more proof do you need that something's going on? Taking into account everything that had been mentioned so far, the mystery of whatever was happening to us was far from being solved if we didn't find the roots of the problem. Why am I pronouncing words incorrectly today? At the rate we were going, it was like looking for a needle in a haystack with no direction to follow. Therefore, there was something very important for us to know, the origin of everything. If we only knew who we ran over that night, perhaps we would have a clearer path to follow. And that mission was up to me. I knew that no one else among us could find out about this the way I could. I started to get the attention of the others.
I'm not really sure.
Guys, I have to go now.
Are you alright?
You can tell us, you know.
I'm sorry.
There's something I have to do. Guys, please don't leave the school. Stay here. I have some business to take care of on my own. I promise I'll tell you what it's about as soon as I know something.
Not happening.
You can't just leave. Look at the situation we're in. Meredith stepped closer, raising her index finger and narrowing her eyes, but before she could say anything to me, I interrupted her.
Madison!
Please. I shouted to stop the discussion before it reached a tense point again. Madison was probably expecting me to continue arguing, so it was a surprise for her to experience a sudden change in how our conversations usually went.
Guys, please.
This is no time for this. Andrew turned to Madison and frowned, expecting her to be friendlier towards me. Madison stared at Andrew for a few seconds, trying to convey some unspoken message.
I'm fine, Andy.
Take care of yourself, please.
What? I felt confused by that phrase. It was strange for Madison to have any consideration for me. Didn't she hate me more than anyone else in the world just a few days ago? The situation we were going through was pretty unusual, though. Maybe none of us were acting with a clear mind. Clear mind. In any case, I didn't want to give the matter more thought than necessary. I nodded and walked away from them. I walked towards the main stairs with the gaze of all the students on me. This time I didn't know why they were turning to look at me, maybe because of the weird conversation we had just now. There were many reasons why neither of us could go unnoticed, but this time I wasn't going to let what people said affect my life. So many times I've let my parents control how I behave. I'm not going to let stupid rumors make my day even worse. Wait to solve this problem for you, Conrad. I will survive for you. And Amelia. Don't forget about Amelia. I left the school long before classes ended. I was aware that this would represent one less point of attendance in all the classes of the day, but at that moment my priorities were other. Johan was waiting for me in the car when I left the school. When he saw me, he immediately got out of the car and waited for me to approach him.
It's still, little early, don't you think, miss?
I know, but you don't need to ask questions. I pay you and stuff. Anyway, I have to end it here, fellas, because I have to prepare for work. So where can we say next? Oh, there you are. So 16. So this is the Devil's Whisper. If you want to try the game for yourselves, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.